Hi guys, we are back on GC, and I've got things to show you, things to talk about, and in order to avoid a long episode, I'm just going to get on with it. So, I finally carved out, not all of it, damn it, the majority of the mountain that's in the way. So all the seats, apart from that bit which I'm still working out, are in. So, I think like every seat, you can see the whole of the ring down there, let's call it, the circle. And all that's left to do here on the outside of this is take the rest of that mountain out, put an underneath of this stand in there. There's going to be lights and just general nice things. Finish off the front part, get the underground bits put in, like these holding pens, things like that, and then get the archway I mentioned on. So yes, that's that. I haven't done many episodes of me doing this lately because, like I said, the majority has just been hacking away at stone, which makes great video. So moving on, and while we move on, I can talk about Feed the Beast. We have things to discuss about that. The ultimate pack is out, which is like the default, if you want to call it that. The pack what the Feed the Beast guys want you to use. We were using the Minecraft pack, which was great, but I'll be totally honest, I'm one of the ones that I prefer vanilla. I'm here more than I'm on Feed the Beast. And so it wasn't that big of a decision for me, but the people who do use it, namely Demner, Deniz, all those sorts of guys, wanted the pack updating or changing to the ultimate pack. In doing so, that meant that our world was no longer stable, I guess is the word. It was compatible, but it was very unstable. It added things and removed things and caused some major pig glitch. I found a chunk that was like semi-loaded in a way, but it had something like 1200 pigs spawning on it, which obviously the server wasn't enjoying. So yes, so what we've decided, and I've not got a chance to speak to everyone on the server about this, but we've had to restart Feed the Beast. I have the old world save backed up and away, so if anyone does want it, or we want to go back to the Minecraft one, I have it. So it's kind of like a transition period, I guess we'll call it that. So don't worry, you guys who have put a lot of work into your Feed the Beast thing. I'm sure the change will be beneficial. If not, we'll just revert back. That's fine. I'm just saying that so people who log in and see an empty world and all their things gone don't freak out. Yes, what's new here? Yes, we have a lemonade stall. Just waiting for lemonade to be added. What do I need to talk about here? Ah, yes, we added a new guy. I know I want to address this now. His application was pretty good. His background check was pretty decent. No one could see any problems with him. We let him on. He came on his own. I happened to log in 10 minutes after he did for the first time, and he sends me a message saying that things are on fire. So obviously I don't normally do this, but I opt myself, teleported to him, and a good majority of the town was on fire. Now this is a lesson learned, and we're back to normal, so no worries, nothing's been lost, but this was pretty much burnt down entirely. Most of the road, most of the wool around the ice rink. These can't really burn, but a couple of the things on there went. This was gone, and it was just too coincidental. There's no way it just happened. He did it. He griefed us. And when I asked him how it had happened, he said he didn't know, and he ran from about here straight beeline over to, it's not there, but this chest, and there was a flint and steel in it. He threw it at my feet and said, there you go, that's what did it. So, he's not here anymore. I'm not even going to mention his name because he's not worth it. But it's opened my eyes that even the application thing isn't great. Like, it's not 100%. So yes, anyone who's heard about the griefing, everything's back to normal. Don't worry about that. Moving on. Moving on. We are now on 1.5.1. Don't think I did one in 1.5. An episode, I mean. I might have done. I don't know. But it now runs amazingly. Much better than 1.5 did. It's not perfect, but it's real smooth. So we've now got all the redstone stuff, and I've got some things to show you, and also this to show you. This wasn't in 1.5, but since 1.5.1, when you get in a minecart, notice how high up you seem. It's like you're, I mean, that, I can't tell if that looks wrong or not, but you're like a block too high. It's like you sat on top of it rather than in it. Just a little bug there, a little glitch, nothing to worry about. But yes, it's broken my logger, and in broken I mean that I managed to fix it with Hattie's help, but it's not brilliant. We had to add a lot of like superfluous, well, not superfluous, but extra redstone. It looks a little bit weird. It doesn't work how it did, and now that the bone meal thing has changed as well, it makes it very, very inefficient, especially with how I had to rejig the growing chamber, if you want to call it that. It takes like a good half a stack to grow a single tree. It's not really worth it anymore, so I think I'm going to tear that down. Load. I think I'm going to tear that down and design something else. As for changes in here, I have this. I'm going to go to my creative world and show it you, so I don't want to rip this apart. But I worked on this pretty much when 1.5 came out, and I've seen some videos since on YouTube that are very similar. I'm not saying they're exactly the same, so I don't think they are, and I don't think this is the most efficient way of doing it. But it's mine, so I'm sticking with it. So I'm not going to do like a tutorial or anything like that, because it would appear that I'm doing it after the fact, even though I genuinely did come up with this before I'd seen anyone else. Not saying I was the one to invent it or anything, but how it works, you got your hoppers under there. I'm going to show it you properly, like I said, but there's hoppers under there. You put your coal in that one, you put your stuff you want cooking in that one. They get fed into a furnace, which automatically feeds them into a little item elevator, which is 2 droppers. Yep, stacked there with a little clock on that detects when there's something in them, spits them up into this one. So it's not exactly fast, but it's just good to have it always going. I mean, as long as you're around, this is going to be running. So come back from your mining trip, all your coal in there, all your ores and meat, whatever you want cooking in that one. Go and do other things, come back, and that chest will be full of what you want. And yeah, what you wanted. That chest will have the things you want in. As for changes, the lighting glitches in all the corners have gone, so yay. I'll show you the logger while we're here, and then we'll jump to the test world and we'll finish off on what I want to show you there. The logger. You may have noticed there's a lot of just like random things just stuck on now, but it seems to work. Where should we start? We'll start with the main section. I've not put like a lot of this. I don't think any of that's needed. I don't think any of this is needed, so I'm not going to go over what that does. But these double piston extenders stopped working, and I could not get them to time right without tearing the thing to pieces. So I just made it that that bank is always extended. What that meant is that the growing area inside is much smaller. It is literally just one one wide. Now, as you know, trees will grow in that. You can put saplings in a row, grow them all. They'll grow together into like a big line of wood, kind of like how that is. But it makes it much more ineffective, I guess, which is why it's burning through the bone meal so much. I might as well show you. I'm going to need a lot of them. Are we on? Yes, we're on. So, what was that? 40 something? There he is. It's much slower. I had to slow it down because it was literally tearing itself to pieces. But it works. It's just not ideal anymore. So, also these stopped working. They were meant to be that when this log, let's call it, moved into this space, it powered this, which went into there, which pushed all those pistons out and sent them moving along. For some reason it wasn't causing the second piston to fire, so you ended up with this line missing, this row, and that row continued in that direction, which broke this, which broke the whole thing. And also this, again, when it gets all the way to the end here, it's meant to power the whole wall of pistons and move the whole thing like one block. Seems to be now that redstone's a lot more like tighter, it works better. The block wasn't there long enough to allow the signal to get to all the pistons. If you see what I mean, all what was happening was that piston and that one fired. So again, you ended up with a big wall of wood and just a little bit here pushing out, whereas the rest of it tries to go that way. But these, like pulse extenders, I guess we'll call them, or pulse limiters. Is that what you call them? Why is my brain broken? It sends a single like one tick pulse, because, well, I'll show you. You see how quick it is? Yep. And what was happening is that pulse wasn't actually getting there, whereas this allows it to. Hattie's idea, not mine. It seemed to work. The same principle there. And like I said, I'm pretty sure none of this actually does anything, but whatever. So yeah, that'll probably be coming down once I've designed something better, or found something better. So now to the test world. Right, here we are. Chickens everywhere. I'll tell you why that was an accident. This, what I'll show you, isn't mine. This is my version of it, what I've not added to my world yet because it doesn't seem to be working very well. It's Hattie's design. I don't know if he's got it off of YouTube or anything, but it was his idea. I gave him a hand building it. We got it to work. But I wanted to see if I could try and get a smaller footprint. I mean, I know I've added like this big wall, but that's just for looks. But what's going on is in here you've got your chickens. They sit in there forever. And they lay eggs which fall into a hopper, which is under there, which feeds them into this dispenser. This comparator detects when there's something in it, sends a pulse around which causes it to fire, and it also deactivates itself. That means however many are in there, it will keep going until there's none left. Obviously that fires them into this block. Some will hatch and fall into there, on top of that hopper. When they're fully grown, press the button, and that dispenser does a double one-tick pulse, like a double pulse, so that it's just a quick on-off of lava. So there's no danger of you losing your drops. It will kill them, it'll cook the chicken. They fall into the hopper, which falls into another hopper, which, yeah, that should be a stair. Whatever, we'll deal with that later. And that drops into there, and you got your stuff. The problem I'm having, and the same that Hattie's having, which is why I wanted to do this, is his is a lot more. It's not got this front on. It's just the main skeleton of the machine. He's got the glass blocks like all the way around containing the chickens, and they get out as they do. So I've tried to cut down. I mean, I need that one there. So you need to see when there's chickens there ready to be cooked, and that one just like allows you to check on them, I guess. They're still getting out. I'm also getting it that the drops when they die aren't falling into the hopper. I think they like get pushed into a block. The game freaks out and throws them randomly. So it's not brilliant yet, which is why I've not added it. But Hattie, if you're watching this, I think this works better, because on the one we worked on his, we had one of those piston things what I've just shown you loads of. Well, that one right there. We had one of those for this bit, and I really don't think you need it, because, well, I'll show you. Seems quicker, and it does fire them all out, and they all make it through, so it's all good. Yeah, that's just something I'm working on. Like I said, I'm not claiming like rights to this or anything. I just want to see if I could try and refine it a little, and I've not done. I think the redstone's better, but the actual design of the containment areas needs improving. Right, moving on. What else do we have? That was a failed idea. Don't look at that. Ah, yes, the auto smelter thing. This is how I've got it. The one I showed you that I didn't want to tear out. This is it basically, without the walls and floor. So you put your coal in there, that drops into this hopper, drops into that one, feeds it into the furnace, which will be that slot there. This one, your ores or food or anything, goes into that hopper, which feeds it into the top one. So I guess I can, well, do it this way. I can actually use the thing. See, you saw it light up there, the furnace comes on. When that's cooked, the hopper underneath pulls that out, puts it into this dropper, which are pointed upwards. Similar to the, I've lost my bearings, the dispenser over there that knows when there's something in it. That bottom dropper knows when there's something in it because of this comparator, and it does a similar thing, well, pretty much the exact same thing as what happens over there. The signal comes out, goes around that way, that deducts from itself, so turns itself off. If that's not there, it stays on, is what I've found. Don't know if that's a bug or not. If it is, then those 3 blocks there, so that repeater and these two dust can go. But this one goes around, hits that block, which powers that dispenser, which that dropper, which pushes it up into that one. As that is happening, because this is power, that turns off, and then the signal disappears, which turns it back on. So that dropper then puts it into that one. But I'll show you. This is probably easier. You see there? That does twice. If I drop a few in there, you'll see it. There you go. Thought the sound had disappeared there. Strange. But anyway, that's how it's working. So every time one drops into this bottom dropper, it's detected by the comparator, which powers these 3 in sequence, which pushes them up into there. And there's the chicken we had from before. So that's pretty much it. I think I've shown you everything else. That was from ages ago. That's done now. And just random musings with redstone. Yes, you can't move jukeboxes. Might as well show you these while we're here. If I've already shown you, I'll cut them out. Nah. Yeah, these are just block swappers. Nice and simple. So it can be used for lights, or can be used for things like a crafting table. And then this is from a while ago. I was just working out how the half slab works with the redstone, where it can go upwards but not downwards. Kind of strange. And this is just like a sequential counter in a way. Uses the it's called blocking or locking. The locking mechanic of the repeaters. So you see the whole thing gets passed around and it locks it into a position which turns one light on. So you effectively get a counting machine. For some reason I thought 1.5 would break that, and it's not, so hooray. And that's the ulam, and that's the sheep. So yes, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Probably more GC coming soon before Feed the Beast. Don't know what I'm doing with Feed the Beast yet. I mean, I know what I'm doing with the server, but I mean like recording wise. But I shall let you know as soon as I know. So until then, I shall catch you next time. Bye.